Dun, da, da, da. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Winnie.
Oh, Winnie.
Happy New Year, Winnie.
Winnie always comes up and then he has to be on one of our laps and then he switches. So
Right at the last moment.
he just went to Jeff's lap as we were getting the live
Oh, puppy ASMR.
puppy ASMR.
Now he wants to go back to you.
Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's been, I haven't talked to y'all since 2022.
A whole year ago.
A whole year.
What a year it was.
It was a big year.
There will be approx 1 year between the end of Wizards Unite and the beginning of Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh my gosh.
And it was last year, basically.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
January 31st, right?
January 31st. Well, okay, so I think they messed up on the date, and I think we were actually done. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty
On,
sure
the 1st.
the 30th. No,
the 30th.
The 30th, I think they...
How many days are in January?
Am I remembering that wrong? Because I vividly... Which way do I go? I'm off center. I remember the Hawaii crew, since they were the last... Oh, no, it was local time. It was local time? I don't remember, but it was something weird with the ending.
It was local time.
Of Wizards Unite.
There was also that.
So maybe it was the 31st.
If you didn't close out of the app, you could keep playing.
That's what
a
I'm
little
saying.
bit.
The Hawaii crew just kept it open, and then I don't remember.
And eventually, it sent.
I think Sandy was like live streaming on Twitch, and we were just like filtering in and out. It was the next morning, and I was like, "Hey guys." It was wow, yeah, it was good times.
Coffee breath.
We went to a nice place for dinner on New Year's Eve.
We did.
It was so delicious. We both had fillets.
We dressed up a little
I
bit.
dressed up a little bit.
We both had fillets, but my appetizer was meatballs.
I know. Yeah.
It was so good.
You told me it tasted... The reason I didn't, that I got a salad, is because I was like, I want to eat all of my steak.
And you did.
And I did.
Yes.
But your meatball, it was like, because you kept saying it tasted like lasagna, because I had ricotta.
Yep. It did.
It was very good. It was delicious.
And then they ran out of desserts for us.
They ran out of desserts.
Prosecco,
so they said, we can
in.
buy you another drink. And we're like, okay. So that's actually the reason why Magical Theory Podcast didn't happen yesterday.
Had to sleep one off.
Yes, we slept. And it was good because many of y'all in the Discord also said you slept in. So I was like, all right, we'll do it on Monday.
Yeah.
So this is...
I mean, we were up, but like...
Yeah,
it was just not... I hadn't read yet.
It was not... We are much better today.
Yeah. 100%. Hi, Winnie. Oh, so sweet.
So... Oh, okay. So we got some things going on here today. I feel like we're going to talk... I don't know. I don't know how long we'll talk today. I was going to say, I feel like there's a lot of y'all who are interested in talking about Hogwarts Legacy because this is the year that Hogwarts Legacy is coming out. So we might
have what I'm saying.
A longer Hogwarts Legacy lore section, even though we'll see how it goes.
Yes.
Alan says, after playing Harry Potter Magic Awaken, you don't think your mouse can cope with another Yule Ball. I didn't get to that part when I played. I only played for literally an hour for that game.
You have to make yourself dance by spinning around your mouse?
I don't know how, what do you do? How do you do? Do you have to battle while at the Yule Ball? Because that would be something. But today's question, the poll for today, because we're talking about dress robes, will we have a Yule Ball in Hogwarts Legacy? Yes, no, I'll let y'all continue to vote, but let me, in the meantime, tell you the clues that were spread out over, I think, 3 weeks. The clues I gave were apparel, special. In hindsight, I should have reversed those. I should have said special, then apparel, because special is the broader one. Then people could have
had more interesting guesses.
Because I think when I said special, Zero's like, this is not helpful.
Robes.
And ball was the last one.
Ball.
Yes. I meant ball like a ball, not like a physical ball.
It's good.
Because I think clown nose was guessed as a joke, but which I guess is technically apparel and technically special because it's not like you're wearing a clown nose every day. But no, the answer was dress robes. That's the password for today. So we're going to be talking about clothing in the wizarding world. So far, I see 32 votes. Will we have a Yule Ball in Hogwarts Legacy?
Well,
56% of y'all say no.
we can get back to that.
We can get back to
We
it?
start on clothing.
We're going to start on clothing, okay.
I feel like I saw an interesting question on maybe one of your videos or something that somebody had commented, like, do other students change out of their dress robes? Because you know how we have, like, all these different
They're
outfits.
regular robes.
They're robes. They're robes.
Yeah, they're robes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think? Do you think, like, on weekends they'll be wearing, like, regular clothes?
I must have missed that comment.
It might have been on somebody else's video or on Reddit or something.
Okay, I'm thinking...
You think they're always going to be wearing their, like, wizarding robes?
I am thinking in the trailer, and do we see any shot of anyone not... I imagine that, like, let's say that we hang out with Sebastian and his family for the holidays, I'm sure he's not going to be wearing his robes. But that's, like, we haven't seen any evidence of, like, everyone's wearing their robes.
They might.
I don't know.
They might not.
I mean, what do y'all think? So...
Because I don't know what the cost is to, like, changing
well,
outfits.
wait. Don't we... Oh, no, it's main character. Because I know that there was a lot of discussion about main character with even in the robes, having, like, different designs on the cuffs or something like that.
Because they're letting us...
customize, like, and enhance the gear.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, as soon as I can... This is me. As soon as I can change out of my robes into something fancier, I'm going to do that. Like... I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts. We'll talk about it when the chapter comes up, but I have a lot of thoughts about, like, being a Hogwarts student and then, like, being kind of... We are, as a main character, a Hogwarts student, but we're also different. Like, we're coming in as a fifth year, so I kind of feel like my not only because I'll be playing the character, but also because of the circumstance, I feel like we're not a typical Hogwarts student, so I don't... It's gonna be a weird Hogwarts experience.
I'm gonna go on a quick tangent
one.
here. I was thinking to myself, because we kind of talked about this before we knew a lot about the game, of like, is it possible? It is possible to do an RPG where you start as a first year and you play, like, through every day. And then what my mind just went to was Animal Crossing, where people changed the date on their PlayStation or whatever, so that
it was a Switch.
they went forward.
Yeah,
on the Switch. That's right.
Yeah.
That's what would have happened.
Well, this is, like, the entire... So, like...
yes.
Hogwarts as a sim, like, would be every single day, you know?
Yeah, I don't think that was ever on the table.
No.
And even a modified version of that seems difficult. I know we have the 4 seasons going by, but the Yule Ball is a perfect example of, like, what the deal is here, because how are you going to do that? Are you going to have an actual calendar that's going by, and then, like, here's the Yule Ball? Is it going to be triggered by something?
It's triggered.
So you're just going to be like, today's the Yule Ball.
So my understanding, based on what Alan said, is that there are chapters.
For the seasons.
And And so I imagine that, so the Yule Ball we know happens on Christmas, so
it's a faux calendar. Eve. So let's say you just left the game on and your character standing still, night and day, night and day, night and day, night and day. Yep. The season wouldn't change.
No.
Right.
Yeah. So you complete, like, chapter or quest in the chapters, and then I feel like goes to the next chapter, which
probably
is
a cutscene.
Yeah, I don't know.
As fall moved to winter, main character was proud of their progress.
Oh my gosh.
I should voice it.
Yes, that's it. So no, they were the same one and get real stinky.
Yeah.
We see quite a few variations of robes in the limited ones, plus there's jumpers like Neville wears, but that's just for our main character, right? It's not for the other people, I believe.
Not that I remember. I don't know.
Yeah. February's next month. All of our questions will be answered. Cindy says, save the Yule Ball for Magic Awaken. You like having different features in different games. So we actually, before we went live, we started talking about this poll that I put up, because I think we both think yes for Yule Ball, but also as a side quest, like not something that's mandatory. Maybe something very short, maybe something that is, I was saying, like, what if it's tied to one of the professors? Like, if we get to know Maribel Garlick and she's just like, oh, let's go to the ball, or, like, you know, get you ready for the ball.
Maybe it's like when you finish the winter, or like you're in the winter and it's like, oh, now we're going on a holiday break, and then you have like the option to prompt the Yule Ball. Because we're also fifth year, like...
Well, so we don't know much about us. Like, we don't know anything except for the fact that we are a fifth year. We have some connection to ancient magic. We don't know anything about our parents or what we survived, like, all that stuff. So, like, it's not... Unless Fig is taking us in, like, it doesn't... Where would we go for Christmas time, you know? Like...
Yeah, we're going to stay at Hogwarts.
I feel like, yeah, we're going to stay at Hogwarts. The Haunted Hogsmeade quest line, I don't know if it was intentionally kept, like, what they showed us was wintry. So it was, like, snowy and stuff. So I don't know if that was intentional or if that's, like, the quest is locked in the winter chapter or something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know. That's why we are always just speculating, saying things. I don't know. I'm not sure. Ashley says, I think that if we can interact with a character in multiple locations across the world, like the companions, then possibly they can change their robes. Other characters, probably not. Yeah, I would say, like, that seems more likely is, like...
Well, I'm talking about students specifically. Yeah, companions.
Companions would be the most likely candidates of students to change and have different things. And then just,
like, people out on the road, like, we've seen those traveling salespeople.
Oh, my gosh.
And they're not wearing... Obviously school robes, but they
have an outfit.
Will they actually change their outfit? Probably not.
So in Animal Crossing New Horizons, since you brought it up, you give characters gifts.
Yeah.
And sometimes they wear them, and it's super cute. I love it.
That game is real, but it's that is like the central part of the game in some sense.
Right.
It's a main feature.
You're building those relationships. And
that it's really self-contained.
Yeah.
And you are, able to change the inventory of NPCs.
Nayleen saying maybe we'll get a fancy dinner invite from a professor, like Professor Slughorn's invite. So when I looked at the wiki for, well, actually, since we're here, I feel like we got to go to like different what I picked out in the media here. So my favorite quote of all time from Wizards Unite. I mean, there's many great ones, but my favorite one is with Grumpy Ron. He was in the thumbnail for today's video.
Oh my gosh.
Constance says, so it's his dress robes. Like, it's him in his dress robes is the foundable. She says, Ron, what are those? And he says, they're dress robes, Constance. And then she says, dress robes? For wearing in public? That can't be right. This was the moment when I was like, okay, I'm on board with Constance, like, making fun of Ron. Because it's really, I mean, it's easy to do. It's Ron Weasley. Come on.
Well, in that same exchange, I believe that one of the foundables is Victor Crumb with Hermione
Oh
Granger.
My gosh, yeah.
And I thought you were about to like click through to it or whatever.
No, I don't have the full thing up right now.
And Constance asked, who is that with Hermione? And Ron's like, I don't remember.
He is such a liar. Such a liar. I just can't. But in the wiki, there is some information about like the dress robes, which again was the password for today. So like they can be fancy like this, where you have like the Yule Ball. You know, it's not like these are definitely I cut off their head. They're definitely dress robes. You know, like Cedric is kind of he has like the vampire cloak going on right there. But
he really does.
On here, so in what is this game called? Hogwarts Mystery. There's also a Celestial Ball. The outfits in Hogwarts Mystery are pretty nice. I like them a lot. Then you have the Yule Ball, and then Slug Club's Christmas Party. So there's lots of stuff that we could, maybe not a Yule Ball per se, but maybe there's like some kind of, I still think it'll be a side quest. Like, I don't think it'll be a main quest where everyone has to do like.
Do you think Poppy is going to be like Luna? Her personality?
Oh, so not evil.
Oh, evil Luna.
Evil Luna. Poppy is, so what's interesting about Poppy is like the way she seems like she doesn't have many friends. Like that's the vibe that I get from her is that she's very kind of soft-spoken and to herself. I wish that in the marketing there was more that gave her a little depth of like there's something else that's part of her story.
Find out. I don't need to know now.
I want a hint though. I want something that
I need
because at this point in time, I'm like, Poppy is so boring. I'm not gonna talk to her.
I am. She's gonna be my companion, almost certainly.
That's probably why everyone's like evil.
Do you think it's possible that they restrict who your companion is based on what house you pick?
No.
You don't think so?
I think you can companion
pick from
all
any
four.
Of the four.
Yeah.
Oh, all four at the same time.
Like
do all the side quests with them.
Yes.
Man.
But I think you can only take. You know how like in Skyrim you can like take a person one at a time.
Yeah,
like I think that'll be it, but I think that you can simultaneously like work on stuff and then be like
go back and forth.
It'll be the dialogue option that's like wait here. Actually, in Baldur's Gate 3 there is that option where it says you need to wait in camp. Well, it doesn't. Maybe it says it that directly when it says so. I want you to wait here, wait in camp. What's cool? I haven't tried this yet, but my understanding of Baldur's Gate 3 is that you can have them wait in camp, pick up another companion, and then come back and then just switch them out. So they just stay in your camp, so that you basically are collecting them like Pokemon. Really, be my friend. You know, I don't know. In Magic Awakened, you had to click a specific area.
Yeah. It's probably overnight or something. You can be like,
So if you had a touchscreen, you had to seriously
busy tomorrow.
manage. Okay.
I want to get all four of the companions to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Bring them all together, and then and then go invisible and hear them talk about me.
I want to overhear conversations.
What do you think about main character?
No, it's great. In Dreamlight Valley, the resident villagers, whatever they're called, the people that live there, they like Mickey and Goofy. Like they'll have a conversation, and if you're standing near them, you can kind of see what they're talking about. Actually, Animal Crossing did that too, where sometimes there would be clashing personalities and they would be mean to each other.
Yes, I know.
It was so great.
The guy that was like the tech guy.
Oh my god.
Mouse.
We thought that guy was a serial killer for sure.
Well, my character was. I made that basement.
Yeah.
Graham.
Wow,
how'd you pull that name out?
Because I played that game so much in 2020.
Way more than I did.
No, it would be so in the Cross Ones Dueling Club. In the background, Natsai and Sebastian are talking to each other. There are actually in scenes in the trailer when we run by, we overhear some lines. So the question is like, what are the variety of those conversations?
It's going to be limited. It's not AI.
Yeah. Well.
Chat GPT.
Oh my gosh. 1-1. Yes. Not just Yule Ball, you feel like there will be some sort of festive event happening in the Great Hall.
Christmas Day.
You know, it'd be so cool, even if it's just like, if it's something that's patched or like added on later, that's like, I love games, so this is also, Deep Rock Galactic did this, but that's kind of more of an ongoing game. I feel like it's more common with like Elder Scrolls Online or things that are regularly connected online or updated online.
Yeah, that
you have seasonal
events. They might
events.
do it like that. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know if they're going to do sort of more of an old school, here's the expansion, or if it's probably...
I guess the question is, are there other single-player RPGs that do something like that? I don't think so. Like, it doesn't come to mind. So, unless they build it in. I'm kind of surprised that in their marketing, they haven't capitalized off of holidays at all. We had no, like, Christmas, no New Year's, no, like, any of those posts. But, I don't know, maybe... I don't know what is left to surprises. What?
It didn't come out before them, so...
It didn't come out before them.
The game didn't come out before the holidays, so...
No, but in the marketing, you can still do,
They'll do it next year.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, Ron is a downer. A Death Day party. We do know this from the original reveal trailer. There's going to be a Death Day party. So, is our character wearing dress robes?
Sir Headless Nick, robes? Very young in his death.
Very.
Relative to Harry.
Very young. Poppy would be doing her own version of the Yule Ball with creatures. Oh
Pate.
My gosh. Jen says, I want to say that Lynette is being mean by not befriending Poppy, but
I read this comment
considering her habit of killing her companions, yeah, it's good. It's good.
Oh.
Elwin, thank you so much. The real life Newt. You're gonna befriend Poppy, aren't you? The wiki. Thank you so much for the super chat. The wiki says the Yule Ball is a tradition of the Tri-Wizard Tournament. Oh.
I think both are gonna happen.
Oh.
We won't be in it, but it could be like an event. So maybe we could like, hey, the Hogwarts champion needs your help.
Do you think someone's gonna try to rig the Tri-Wizard Championship?
No, I don't think it'll be played out the same way. This could also be part of like a DLC though. Because you get the Yule Ball and Tri-Wizard Tournament package, and then like you can go play.
Very true. Yeah, possibly.
But it would have to be like before you've beaten the game, or maybe you beat it and you're still a student, and you're like, hey, next year.
I don't know how this is. Oh man,
I know.
I don't know how the game is gonna end.
It's difficult to tell how it will resolve.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I think it'll be it's just gonna be suspension of disbelief to some extent. Like, oh,
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe there's a sub quest to get past those mannequins to find your outfit for the ball. I mean, it is like a clothing shop. Like, yeah, that's the reward. That's the loot. I don't know. I'm not sure. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say, something, because we talked about this in the like big content creator group stream of like, if they, because you know how like there's sequel. Yeah. I don't know how sequels like.
For what?
I don't play many sequels. So, like, we had The Last of Us Part 2. I've never played those games, so I don't know, like, how it's structured. But even, like, Death Stranding, which I just started playing over break, I know that they're coming out with a sequel. So, like, I don't know. I don't play enough games that are, like, AAA games that also have sequels to have any sort of, like, context or baseline to be like, how do you do a sequel, or how do you make something that's like open enough to have a sequel rather than being like,
I mean, even like Skyrim.
You know? Yeah, but that's
so to me it would be, if they ever got to that point, it would be because the game is really popular and it would be a totally different story.
Yeah.
It would be like a different 10 years later or something, 20 years later, where they could reuse the assets.
Yeah.
But
speaking
that's
of
like Breath of the Wild too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I forgot. That's also coming out this year.
Yes.
We don't know anything about that game. All I know is I saw a trailer and Link had his like little glider and then he was in Islands in the Sky. And I was like, I don't know what this means. I don't know what this means. Speaking of Death Stranding, though, I was talking to Jeff because I'm obsessed with it. Like, it's so stupid how like only certain things. It's always something that is different.
Yeah. No, I'm not surprised once you told me about it. I'm like, oh, okay.
And I'm like, so I was obsessed.
When you showed me the thing, you're like, yeah, you can't even see him, and I'm like,
no.
What do you mean?
So I was obsessed with the Beginner's Guide, which was made by Davey Reedon, who also made the Stanley Parable. So those games are very like specific in the gaming landscape of like there aren't other games that exist like that. Even something like Slay the Spire, which was kind of new in the way that it did its card deck building genre roguelike sort of thing. Like, of course those games are popular because it's like something that's different. So Death Stranding has this like social like
oh yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. So the Strand genre apparently has this where you have this social like it's an asynchronous multiplayer where everybody's playing, they're the same character. I forgot the name of the character already, but it's some guy and you're playing as him. Oh, Sam is the character's name. And you play as him. Everyone plays as him. But then there's this multiplayer where you connect and you can leave behind, you can alter the landscape and like there are these things. So when I was on a quest, I was delivering cargo, I ran into like a bridge that went over a stream and it had someone's name and I could leave them a like to be kind of like thanks or whatever. So it was this very interesting where I was like, wait, you
like
kind of leave echoes of the past or like other runs and stuff, but with other people. So I thought that was really cool. And then I was like, oh my God, what would Hogwarts Legacy look like as a Strand game? And I was thinking about all these things of like, you have all these witches and wizards from across time that have like, or just Think about the number of witches and wizards that have passed through the halls of Hogwarts.
Yeah.
That's so many people.
That'll be the portraits.
To have, like, remnants of, like, secret notes or things that are left behind that someone else left, but it's actually another player that's playing the same game as you. Like, that concept was so cool to me, and I was like, oh my god, I
Well,
need to
now
play
you're
more.
just bringing to the forefront Jay, our friend from Wicked Makers, and We Make Bad Plans. Messaged me the other day, and he was like, dang, I thought Hogwarts Legacy was an MMO.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, sadly
no,
no.
I know. So many people, and I feel like I'm, so initially I was like, oh, I don't care, I don't need other people, but like the more that we have people coming in and out, and I'm just like,
as you know,
oh, wait, this would be so cool.
I believe it's not off the table. It would be a long time from now, but this would be a major step towards an MMO if the RPG was popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody, I don't remember who, was working on an MMO, a Harry Potter MMO, and then they scrapped the project. Do you remember that news story came out, like, I forgot when. It was like a few months ago. Because they didn't think there would be enough interest in a Harry Potter IP as an MMO. But this was
Remember
like
when
years
they stopped
ago.
making the cards for Wizards
They
of the
did.
Coast?
They did.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Another super chat.
Wait, we
It's
got
not
the
the same
facts.
one, that's
We
a
got the facts.
different
A different one. Sorry, I'm so behind on chat. Thank you again, Ellen.
Ah.
It was discontinued after 1792.
Well,
I
very
didn't know
good.
the specific date. I thought that it was just Dumbledore saying like, oh, it hasn't happened in over 100 years. Like I didn't know there was a specific date attached to it.
Very
Oh
nice.
my
Well, then I guess
gosh! Fun facts for Magical Theory podcast. The Triwizard Tournament discontinued after 1792.
Well, maybe we'll hear about it from somebody's portrait or something. I don't know.
Cindy says they could create some other kind of competition that would not be the Triwizard. I think Steph was saying there's a potion competition, which now that I say that out loud, I'm thinking of like all the Netflix shows where you have like people making food and cocktails and like just all this sort of. We watched the one where it was like not fast food, but like junk food they were recreating, like Flaming Hot Cheetos and Pringles and stuff. That looked insanely hard. You'd be fine with a unique tournament as long as there's a compelling narrative reason. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, we know that there's house points, but they kind of said it was in
it's
the
not
background.
part of.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be super cool.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, it's to your point, which is that we are a unique student in the school, even in the history of the school. So we're kind of detached from like the typical experience of time going by, and you go to all your classes and whatever, and it's very synchronized. Okay.
Yeah. I have other stuff about clothing. We ran off into like tournaments and stuff, but in terms of clothing, I haven't read this fully, but I feel like I want to read it out loud because I skimmed through a part and I was like, what does this mean? This is on the Wizarding World website, published in 2015. So this is about, wizards dress in a particular quirky way.
Yes.
So this is just a little bit about that. So it says that there is something specific in the International Statute of Secrecy. Clear guidelines on dress for witches and wizards when they are out in public. When mingling with muggles, witches and wizards will adopt an entirely muggle standard of dress, which will conform as closely as possible to the fashion of the day. Clothing must be appropriate to the climate, I love this. The climate, the geographical region, and the occasion. Nothing self-altering or adjusting is to be worn in front of muggles. In spite of these clear instructions, clothing misdemeanors have been one of the most common infractions of the International Statute of Secrecy since its inception. Younger generations have always tended to be better informed about Muggle culture in general. As children, they mingle freely with their Muggle counterparts. Later, when they enter magical careers, it becomes more difficult to keep in touch with normal Muggle dress. Older witches and wizards are hopelessly out of touch. I mean, we see this in the movies. It's pretty great. Let's see. What's the other Having purchased a pair of psychedelic moon pants in their youth, they are indignant to be hauled up in front of the Wizengamot 50 years later for arousing widespread offense. The part that I was wondering about was that some members of the magical community go out of their way to break the clothing clause, a fringe movement calling itself Fresh Air Refreshes Totally. Fart. Insists that Muggle trousers stem the magical flow at source and insist on wearing robes in public in spite of repeated warnings and fines. More unusually, wizards deliberately adopt laughable Muggle confections such as crinoline, worn, I don't know if I said that right, worn with a sombrero and football boots.
Cleats.
Oh,
That's
cleats.
what football boots are.
These are generally taken by Muggles to be students on a dare. To date, they appear to have been taken as cult members by Muggles.
Oh, dear.
What is happening? So I read this and I was like, okay.
Oh, my goodness. But we already had the idea of the throwback, Ron with the retro clothing. It'll be of date for us in the Victorian era.
The Victorian era. Poor little Ron. I mean, to be fair, like, he just needs to, like, deal with it. Though, it is part of his whole overall, like, angstiness of, you know.
Yeah, it was a
lot of last book was just kind of like, oh my god, Ron, I can't.
There's still some coming up, eh?
Oh, it's the fluffy thing that goes under the skirt. It's itchy. Yeah, I imagine it's itchy. Interesting. Hello, Morgan. Happy New Year. Good morning.
Just that and cleats.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So that was some special clothing.
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see what our options really are, broadly speaking.
Indeed.
Because I feel like it's going to be a big part, especially since they're allowing us to transfigure and sort of be like, oh, we're going to wear this new clothing setup, but with the other enchantments that I had.
Yeah, I think, so this was one of the
Separating
moments that I was just like,
apparel. Oh
my god, the room of requirement. Like, yes, upgrading, but the specific things that you can add to it.
Well, of course, I'm going to min-max. No, I'm gonna make like a thematic one. I'm going to be like, offense, just offensive.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, like, in Breath of the Wild, there are sets that all match.
Though these are all Protego based, so they were all defensive. We'll see.
Yeah, and this is in the shop in Hogsmeade, where there are some pretty spiffy outfits out there.
There are some good outfits, yeah. I'm going to be able to make myself look goofy.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
That one's pretty. I like the hats. The hats are just, like, out of control. They're just, like, I don't know. It fits. It's just,
it all looks pretty good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it looks good.
Well, that hat was like, okay, you can't go around
bowler hat?
in Diagon, or not Diagon Alley, in
one of
London.
the main bad guys has a huge top hat. It's fantastic.
I want that top hat. I want a top hat.
I want to aim for it.
I want all of the fancy masks. Every mask of every bad guy. Like, I can collect them like trophies, put them on my wall, trade them out. Also, over break, I watched the entirety, all 6 seasons of Schitt's Creek. And Moira, who is the mom, played by Catherine O'Hara, has all these wigs. Her character wears just, like, a bunch of wigs. So instead of wigs, I'll just have masks, like, lining my house.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, man.
Moira Rose.
Yeah. Since we're talking Hogwarts Legacy, just looking at a couple questions, like, Ben asked, will we have multiple save games at the same time? I hope we can.
I would think so.
Because I have plans for those different save files.
I would think so.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we would.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to say yes, but the real answer is I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Oh my goodness. Maris is excited by all the different style options, both in clothes and furniture in general. We didn't even talk about the furniture, so this was also in the latest gameplay showcase. There were you could make furniture and you could like adjust it. Like you can make it
Sizes and
tiny
things.
or big or different colors. You could change the ceiling. I was like,
I'm interested to see just how much variety we can get out of our room of requirement. Like how different will mine and yours look? Will mine be like my Animal Crossing house?
Well,
with the single piano?
You know me. I kind of like
Just
I have
one piano in the room?
I have a limit when it comes to decorating in games. I'll do it to a certain point and then I'm just like
my limit is way lower.
Never want to do this again.
Yeah.
I don't care what this
I
looks like.
usually don't do it at all.
Let me just toss stuff on the ground.
I'm gonna have to because there's mechanical reasons to do it. So no, I need some of these things to grow plants and stuff.
No, yes. My mindset shifted as well, where I was like, okay, I will.
I'm not really a collector either. I don't know what my gaming style is exactly.
Wait, because you don't craft either, do you?
No, I like crafting. Okay,
oh.
But I usually
is it mostly
focus,
gathering?
And it's usually for MMOs.
Yeah. So
gathering,
mining.
mining.
Yeah.
I like to mine.
I like mining as well in general because I like
fun.
I like how it breaks. I like how stuff breaks.
Yeah.
It's just
used to fly around and wow, my little flying mount go in the same circles because it would always spawn at the same 12 places
just
or
wait,
whatever.
Yeah. Yes. I am also a hoarder. I will say, so I was playing Skyrim on Friday.
Yeah.
And you know my weight is out of control always, like the weight that I'm carrying. And so eventually, I ended up buying a house off camera and like trying to do, like I was disenchanting and re-enchanting and like trying to do all this stuff. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And so I have now unlocked another section of game that I haven't actually been paying attention to where it's like, okay, I'm going to try to make my gear better.
Yeah, disenchantment will be interesting.
Yeah.
It wasn't clear. Did they say that we disenchant for sure?
No, they just said that you
discover it.
You can upgrade. So the traits, I think, are the things that are the special.
Yeah, but
so
do we find it out in the world on an object and disenchant it,
No.
do we just we know it?
I think in the description,
Maybe
can we go back there? In the
something.
description, it said something like how. Maybe it was in the dialogue where you find traits in these different locations. So in locations like with camps and stuff, I think that's where I don't know if you unlock it or how that works, but there's
it's
also
just something that drops.
There's also different levels of them. So I'm not sure like how that plays out. I don't know.
Lupus Protection 1.
Lupus Protection 1. See, I'm going to get a fancy gear for that, and that'll be, like, my outfit. And it's going to be purple. All purple. Whatever. Like, if I can get the purple, well, I imagine I could dye it
lesser
in my
known
room.
house color.
Purple. Purple. Just straight up purple. If I can get a dress, like a really fancy dress, like, that would be funny, because I'd be, like, fighting and just have, like,
destroying everyone.
Yeah. I'd look like a princess, but I'd be like, ha, there we go. What else? I'm missing things. Given that we can change the room of requirement, would we be able to customize our part of the sleeping quarters in our common room? I don't know. That's an interesting question. When we saw it in the showcase, it looked pretty standard to me. Like, it was just kind of like, oh, here's a bed, here's a bed, here's a bed. But I don't know. I feel like they talked about something on the nightstand, but I don't remember if it was anything notable.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't know why we have portraits in that room.
Watching us sleep?
Yeah, watching us sleep and probably talking to us, waking us up. I don't know.
Wake up!
Oh my gosh. You're glad that there are no microtransactions to customize stuff. Yeah. It's nice. I mean, I think it'll be solid. Like, this is why I love just purchasing games straight up. Like, I know there's different types of monetization structures that exist in the gaming industry, but it's nice to just have the game and be like, I'm going to exhaust everything that's in here, and that's it.
Yeah, and to know that it's a completed game is really helpful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, now we get I was thinking about this. I should start a Skyrim channel in Discord, even though come February, I'm not going to be playing any games except for Hogwarts Legacy. It's just true. Do we have to find a thing to unlock its cosmetic?
I think so.
Unclear.
I think yes.
Yeah.
I think there will be rare things that you find, but not then you've unlocked that skin.
Well, yes. So
They're not gonna give them all to you.
they have the different tiers. The legendary, is that what you're talking about? No.
They're talking about the actual outfit.
The outfit?
Yeah, the actual outfit cosmetic.
Oh.
We're gonna have to find them. We may have some default
now
settings,
I'm wondering
but
if
find them or buy them.
in the shops, if there's like a rotation.
No, because we'll be, in the shops, but like I'm sure we'll defeat like evil crypt enemies and find some long begotten.
But that's
ripped robe.
That's why I want to
whatever.
take everyone's masks. Is
Right.
I want that'll be my
them.
thing.
Yeah, we may craft too.
Yeah. Did we see any dress options? I think in one of the trailers there was a long skirt, but I don't know if I have seen a dress yet.
There's gonna be. It seems like there will be.
You know what I want to do? I just realized. So like not everyone. Some of y'all are teasing me of being like, "Oh, when are you going to do your showcase?" So I already pitched my idea of revealing the Ravenclaw companion. That happened without me. But what now my new idea is fashion show. So one of our friends, Big Daddy Teach, he does these like really funny shorts he does content on Destiny too. He does like fashion, I don't even know what he calls them, where he like talks through the outfit. And it's really funny because it's so like, what? Why? That's what I feel like that would be fun, is doing like a fashion show.
Well, his character,
like
Kira, was definitely the most well thought out of all of ours. Of like what he was wearing.
I'm an orphan. I don't know what I'm wearing. I'm just wearing basic clothes, like, you know.
Leaf shield.
Well, yeah, no, the leaf idea for the shield I think was your idea, or it was you or Jay. Somebody came up with the leaf as the shield for Kins, and I was like, that is brilliant.
Yeah. It was me because of Crowfall. There was a leaf shield.
Oh, wait, with the little chumpy little guinea pig?
No, that was a different one, but yeah, there were different shields. Yeah.
So Crowfall is this MMO that Jeff was backing.
Oh, nice.
And so we have these little minis. We should paint them. They're really cute. There's this like guinea pig character that I'm obsessed with, even though I know nothing about the game. I'm like,
game is dead.
I want.
Can't play it anymore.
Okay, I can't play it anymore, but they're cute characters. Well, the little guinea pig was.
Tej is so fun.
Tej is fun. Yes.
I like Zier's suggestion here.
Where? Princess Peach and Smash?
Here,
used to do WoW fashion shows and judge people. Yeah, no, that would be fun. So that would be a fun idea, is like, because Zoe Two Dots, this is not the same, but Zoe Two Dots used to do, so one of the features in Pokemon Go was the AR photography. So like she would always do like ZTD, I forgot what the end of the hashtag was. And so then she would like review at the end of every, like the monthly like collection of ones that she would pick that she would like or something.
I think that's a really good idea. I think the transmogrifying, and you could combine it with that. Like if people taking screenshots, what's the coolest screenshot you can find, you know? It's like maybe there's a portrait behind you screaming and your character. Maybe, I don't know if we can emote, if there will be emotes where it's like slash cry or whatever. You know?
Oh, he's crying again.
I used to love those. Oh, I love emotes. They're so funny.
In Animal Crossing, you can do that.
We took
as well.
the group shot in Crowfall doing, I think, flex or
Oh.
bowing or something. Yeah.
Did you have to time it? All of these things?
Yeah. But it's tough because there's latency.
Yeah. So you're just like,
but it was close. It was close enough. It was good. I don't know where that is, but yeah.
Where you're like bowing. Happy New Year, Last Marauder. Yeah.
Emotes would be fun.
Emotes would be so fun. Yeah. Okay, I think our character is an orphan, but that just might be me leaning towards like, hey, every character that's like riding solo is just an orphan. When you think of orphans in Victoria era, everyone's gonna be wearing Oliver Twist costumes.
Correct.
I don't know.
Yeah, WoW had really good emotes. Yeah.
What were some emotes in WoW? Same thing?
Fantastic.
What was fantastic?
It was like, I don't remember. Flirt.
Oh. Well, so in Animal Crossing New Horizons,
That was like faint.
you unlocked reactions. I don't remember how you unlocked them, but I remember that was another collection sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because they would be like, they would introduce some like New Year's, they would have some more festive ones that they introduced that you could collect, and then you would do stuff. Yeah, that would be fun.
Mm-hmm. It was the congrats emote, and the dwarf would throw their hands up and say, fantastic.
Is that why you say fantastic a lot?
Maybe.
It's just ingrained in your brain.
Oh my goodness.
Do you think they're going to announce sitting like they did jumping?
No.
I think swim would be the next one, but maybe...
But sitting is going to be fun. The thing with emotes, like the difference between like an emote and say sitting, or it usually like locks your character, but just for like a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't be running around and like do /bow in midair while you're jumping.
If you're able to sit, then maybe you can get like this angle, like where you...
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll be able to spin the camera and get screenshots.
Well, there's a zoom mode we saw in the first gameplay showcase where Chandler was pointing out the owlery, and Andrew, who had the controller, was like, it was zoomed in. It didn't look
Maybe
like...
they have omnioculars.
Yeah, it didn't look like a photo mode. It just looked like a zoom.
Another thing on our tool belt. Omnioculars.
Omnioculars. Yeah, I don't know if our tool belt can be more than 8 slots,
Objects in the mirror.
Objects in the mirror are closer than they are.
No, it'll be... It's not... Yes, you'll be able to load ones for quick equip, in my opinion. And then you'll have your full inventory.
It'd be funny if they were like concentric circles, so it was just like, they just kept going.
Right. And then, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wait, is this real? I feel like I should have played more WoW. I only played it for a little bit when we lived in Tucson, and I very much enjoyed like what I did get to play.
You didn't play in Michigan at all?
Did I play in Michigan?
No, I remember you had mage.
No, you didn't have a desktop in Michigan, right? Or no, did you get one? Maybe I got mine. I don't know. We both have used this computer.
No, I had a laptop still.
Yeah, so I don't think that I played WoW. I have only played WoW on this desktop, which was yours before it became mine. Yeah. I don't know. Emotes are
WoW is super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... I feel like playing vanilla was kind of a trip. Now there's so much going on. Maybe you could play classic WoW. I don't know where it is.
I don't know. I do, maybe, at some point during this break, I'll watch the compilation of cinematics, though, to see.
20 hours.
20 hours. Hey, I binge-watched 6 seasons of...
Usually the videos are like a combo of the really nice cinematics and then the in-game cinematics and then, like, other parts.
Oh.
Like,
will I be able to follow the story, or...?
Oh, yeah, why not?
Probably with a wiki.
No, you can.
Be like, hey, what's going on? What about wands?
The WoW Classic is on Wrath of the Lich King.
Wand selection and options. Wands linked from Wizarding World. I have a large wand with, I think, unicorn core. I don't know what my wand is. I'm not an expert.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what the beginning of the wand selection process is. Because obviously we were able to link it, but then they were like, oh, you don't have to take that one. So it's like, is that going to be part of the prologue? We like go to Ollivander's and get a wand, or
it doesn't seem that
maybe they'll just give us Merlin's wand.
Adjust the wand in. Yeah, you get this. No, because no one knows where it is, right?
Well, that's what they say.
Maybe
it's just been passed down like the
just
Elder Wand.
He's just locking it in his basement.
No. Fig gives it to us. Here, try this.
Maybe we have to find it. We find the Elder Wand.
I think it's very possible that we find it and then we hide it again at the end.
And then we hide it again. I still think that Amit's gonna die, our wizarding historian friend.
I know. And then you were like, well, what if Poppy also dies? And I'm like, what do you think is happening?
I said that...
No, I think they can die, but they will res in the same way we do.
Okay, I said that in the first discussion I was talking to people with, a lot of people were like, yeah, companions are gonna die. And I was like, no way. Well, but that was before Amit. And then when Amit's card came out, I was like, this kid is gonna die.
Do you think they were talking like in battle they get knocked out, and then like if we also die, then like we both res, or like...
narratively.
Oh, wow. You really... No.
Amit is gonna die.
No, none of them are gonna die. No. No. I don't think so. Maybe.
He's the only one that he has the potential power. Unless he's just...
Why do you think he's
Unless
the one
he's
that's
a
gonna
mediocre...
die?
So he's an aspiring wizarding historian. Like, he's going to be
Okay.
documenting all of our adventures. And he's going to be like, okay, ancient magic. He's going to write a prophecy or... No, that's not in his realm of possibility.
Gosh.
He's going to write it down. And then we're going to come to the point where we're like, we can't tell anyone about this.
Main character
And
is
then-
Merlin's descendant. And then it's like, I'm going to have to kill you.
Yes, exactly, Jenny. He doesn't become a
This
famous
one.
wizarding historian. So what happens to him? Either
Well, he's just bad at it.
he's mediocre. He's got to find a new career.
He gets all the dates and people wrong.
or
Or it's like drunk history. Maybe he's famous.
Oh
but
my
like
God.
And like
he comes up with a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He just leaves the wizarding world to live in the Muggle world.
Okay, we are the reason. Yeah, I guess it could be.
Hopefully we don't have to open Merlin's tomb to get the wand. I mean, that's probably where it is,
We
though,
are
right?
in that crypt in like the original trailer.
Yeah.
With
Yep.
the Inferi.
How many will be disappointed if not being able to Avada all your friends? Yeah, I do not. I don't think we'll
I
be
didn't
able to.
see that AK was an abbreviation. I thought it was just talk misspelled. And I
Oh
was like, talk? I'm like, no. Oh,
no,
that's,
AK
yeah.
Avada.
Hey, Poppy. Pow! Game over.
Yeah, I think we'll only be able to Avada enemies or the people that show up as red on our map. I don't think we can do. No professors.
All of Amit's books are kept in the Department of Mysteries. We could just...
Yeah.
Well,
so what
the
if
Department of Mysteries
Amit
is the best.
gets forced to become an unspeakable, or we? So that was
Forced.
the other piece. Is that you said this?
You think he's suppressed?
No,
They
Steph
obliviate him?
I think Steph said, somebody said this. I think it might have been Steph A. Was like, we become an unspeakable, and that's that. So minus death, we don't have to have death. We can have the sworn to secrecy thing happen if we become an unspeakable.
Maybe
I don't
Amit is like, you know how the Quibbler is what the Quibbler is compared to the Daily Prophet? Maybe Amit is that too, but Dilda Bagshot. She's like the mainstream, like everyone believes me, and he's like,
Oh no!
Merlin
Oh
is still
no!
alive.
Oh no! Poor Amit! Oh, that would be so heartbreaking for him.
Not if he thinks
could-
he's into it.
Well, no, but it's the truth. If it's the truth,
Oh, no,
then
maybe it isn't. I mean,
But if it's
Quibbler.
the truth, then it would be so sad. He'd be like, okay, ancient magic. This kid can see it. And they're like, sure, hun. Like, sure, Jan. That's what's happening.
Jan. Yeah, all right, buddy.
Man.
Just go wait over there.
Oh, no.
You know, Professor Binns would be like, it's not factual.
I remember that scene where Hermione's trying to ask a question, and he doesn't even know
About the
her
Chamber of
name.
Secrets. Yeah, Miss Grugler or whatever.
Oh, Miss Grant.
Miss Grant.
That's
Wow,
what he
pulled
says,
that one out.
It's
Jeez.
because it stood out to me when we
Remember
read
these
it, and we
things.
talked about it extensively in the podcast. I talked about it extensively in the podcast episode because I was just like, I cannot. Poor Hermione. Poor Hermione.
It's hard to remember students' names.
Yeah. Well, when you have thousands of them.
Avada Kedavra.
No. Yeah, so each of those, do you think, wow, how many students, so if 1,000 students are at Hogwarts in Harry's time, then Snape probably has,
Population
like,
of the world was like 1/20th of what it was when Harry was alive. So, very few.
no, but I'm
50
thinking
students.
of, like, how many students each professor has. So, like, the main subject ones would have a ton. Not the elective ones, but, like, the ones that have, all, charms.
Until we find
or...
out that magic is slowly leaving the world. And that's why there are so few wizards.
Magic is leaving the world.
And in the past, there were many.
Well...
I don't know. I'm just...
Maybe in the
messing around.
future, maybe like in the future wizarding world, like we're in present day wizarding world, but like maybe in 50 years, there's going to be a crisis and then we'll have to unlock ancient magic and we'll have to unleash it.
Well,
It'll be
it's
Hogwarts
interesting
Legacy 2.
if this is really going to follow a part of Merlin. Some of Merlin's legends tend to be that like he's still alive and he's the last one with magic. So, It would be interesting if that could be part of a story of like the
Merlin and
origins of
Nicholas
magic and
Flamel
where's it
probably
going.
talk to each. Wait, is that right?
Yeah,
Have talked to each other.
I would imagine.
How old is that guy? When was he born?
in like the 1400s or something.
Yeah.
Guess he's like 500 or something.
Because I'm thinking about, like, so part of the thing is, like, that was the whole Philosopher's Stone and, like, him and his wife.
Yeah, and he's still active in Newt's time. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
he could
true.
definitely be
That's
an
true.
Easter egg. We get a correspondence with him or something.
I would love to get a little note. Just a little note being like, hey, kid, we just...
Have some Sorcerer's Stone elixir of life.
We earn our reputation just by existing over
wisely.
time, and then more people start reaching out to us, and then it gets out of control. That's how we build our wizard army to fight.
And then 100 years later, nobody remembers your name.
It was just a mass. They did the thing like in Fantastic Beasts where they obliviate everyone's memories with the rain.
Let's talk about this for a second. Dumbledore is just a few years younger than we will be.
Uh-huh.
And he's alive during Harry Potter's time, so we could be alive. Just zip-zopping around doing
My
our
God.
own thing.
What?
We could be alive right now.
What? Oh man. That's a lot.
Gareth Greengrass.
What if we get trapped in a book? What if that's why nobody... What if we could become a myth? And, like, did we ever exist?
Oh, boy.
Oh, gosh.
No, we didn't exist.
No, we never existed. It's not real.
Hogwarts 2077.
Yeah, that's what I thought that was funny. 2077.
I would play it. I'd play it.
Why not? Just keep
Muggles
going.
are doing new technology, and we're still, like, in the same technology.
Yeah.
It just stays the same. The same exact game.
Oh, my
Yes,
gosh.
the outside world.
So I think this is a good... Oh, we got a poll. I forgot. Let me grab it. We got a poll for next week.
Yeah.
So we have...
No,
hold
when
on.
you stay, baby.
Sorry, Winston. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 episodes of Magical Theory Podcast left. Which I don't know. Pre-game. Well, I mean, we'll be on hiatus for some time. Oh, look at Winston.
Or we just do the podcast while you're playing. You're just streaming the game, and then we're just talking in the background about.
Well, we will be doing that. I just
Harry
don't think
Potter.
that it'll be like.
Well, we won't be doing this.
Let's talk about because
Unless it's how did it actually play out? Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I have an idea for where we can go with that.
Yeah.
One. All right. Well, next week, Magical Theory Podcast. We'll have a new password. We're not done with stay for our. Don't leave. Do not leave.
Did you hear when you stay? Oh, he's so cute.
He's so cute right now.
Gosh, you can see his tail.
Yeah, you can. We're gonna transition to our chapter discussion 4.
One's ready. Turn to page 121, The Ministry of Magic. Today's lesson is called Anxiety. The chapter begins with Harry waking early but fully. He barely touches breakfast as Lupin and Mr. and Mrs. Weasley listen to Tonks tell of her night shift fatigue. They reassure Harry that Madam Amelia Bones will give him a fair hearing. Harry joins Mr. Weasley on his way to work. They take the underground. Then the visitor's entrance to the ministry. Harry is taking in his surroundings without emotion. Perkins arrives to tell Arthur that Harry's hearing has had a time and location change. It's now in Courtroom 10 by the Department of Mysteries 5 minutes ago.
So this was foolish of me. I should have. This is now out. Well, basically done. I should have pulled our underground mugs because that was what I wrote down. The underground. If you aren't,
I thought about wearing an underground shirt. I've been wearing that sweatshirt every day. It's currently in the washer.
It is in the washer. If you are not in our Discord server or you're wondering why is WizardPhD's Discord server called the Underground, it's for the London Underground.
We have a second sweatshirt. I could just pop that one on.
We have many. I have my long sleeve shirt that has the Underground on it.
I know you do.
Not right now, but
So what did you think?
About the Underground?
About the chapter. Where do you want to start?
So I wrote a bunch of things down. It's just a bunch of things, but one of the things that I loved about this chapter this is our first time in the Ministry. Is this?
Yes.
So all of the details, it's kind of like, painting the picture of like beyond Hogwarts basically is like whenever we go somewhere new, and it's like you talked about this, I don't remember when you talked about this. You're talking about going to new places and like how you love that in media because then you get kind of
Critical Role.
Critical Role. Yes. When they go to a new location, and so you're talking about
all my
that.
games when I get to a new city.
Yeah.
My favorite part of WoW.
Yeah.
It's the only reason I made a Horde character is to go to all the cities. I mean, I could have gone as alliance to many of them, but
yeah. So I loved all the little details because it kind of fleshed. So one of the things I referenced this earlier. I think when I was younger, I would have loved to be a professor at Hogwarts. Like if I were in the wizarding world, just so that I could stay at Hogwarts forever.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, I feel like I know that we're going to be playing Hogwarts Legacy and be in Hogwarts a lot, but I am more interested in the broader wizarding world. So I would love to work in the Ministry of Magic. I would love to just like...
We get to go in the wilderness, which will be interesting in the game.
Yes.
But
I'm
you're talking
saying,
about
like,
other cities.
I'm saying that one of the things I listed out were all the levels and like all the departments, and like I would love to just be an intern in every single department, just to be like, what's this job like? What does this job do? There's no sort of, it's kind of funny because then I was thinking about at Hogwarts, you get these like skills, you have like the OWLs, like you have these things that are very subject oriented, but none of that to me kind of indicates like, oh, you should be an Auror, or you should do
learn
this,
on the
or
job.
you should do that.
It's not that different from real life.
Yeah, I know. It was funny because also Percy was very much wanting Harry and Ron at the end of last book to be thinking about their careers when it's like there's no like structure to help kids think about that. But one of the things that I wrote down, or I actually took a picture of because I didn't want to type it all out, was the description of the Fountain of Magical Brethren.
Yeah, sure.
Because the way that it was described was just, see, this should have been on the thumbnail. What I love about making the thumbnails for our new structure for Magical Theory is that I do the password, and then, like, whatever that image is, and then I do stuff from the chapter. And so it's kind of this, like, sometimes weird collection. Like, I have Ron in his dress robes next to Amelia Bones, and it's like, these things don't connect. But it kind of reminds me of the Calamity. Some things just kind of was like, why are these things together? But you have, like, it's like prominently displayed in the middle of the Ministry, the atrium, and it's just like a very directly communicating message of witches and wizards, how they see themselves, and
we talked
that relationship.
Not too long ago in an episode about the transition from this, now that we've seen this fountain, to the fountain that will be in book 7.
Mm-hmm.
And how they're not as far away as they might seem.
Yeah.
The fountain didn't change that much. It's just more overt.
And also who, like, there's no muggles in this one, and they're not like being smushed. But the subtle implication, it's still there. Like the dynamic is still there, top? But who's on top is still
It's
there.
Like the orientation of the map. As you know, I've done a lot of that in my professional life.
Yeah.
Talking about maps and map literacy and, north on top, south on bottom story. That doesn't have to be that way. That it doesn't even have to be one of those on the top. You could put west on top, kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like that scene a lot. I like the feeling of a busy place. Mm-hmm. All the people coming in from the flu network, the people arriving, the visitors desk is interesting, and I don't know that there's the subtlety of they put the mundane in there, so it's like, I have to measure your wand, it's been in for 4 years, and then the guy just like jams the thing on a spike, like very much like evokes these feelings of just like somebody at their job just being like, and then at the moment where he's like, whoa, and then Arthur's like, okay.
What's funny is that when The Office made a resurgence, relatively recently, because Gen Z kind of latched onto it. So I've seen discussions about, like, well,
Billie
why?
Eilish.
Yeah, Billie Eilish being, like, a super fan of The Office. Like, why this show? Like, why? And overwhelmingly calling it comforting because, like, it's just boring. It's just, you're just, like, a group of people.
There isn't really drama.
In this, like, their day-to-day, and it's funny because it's just, like, it's not like, catastrophic, but it's just, like, the dynamics of, like, a workplace where people just, like, interact with each other every day, and that's, like, somehow a source of stability, even though it's kind of
interesting.
comical.
It's a really interesting thought. I mean, because we've, of course, gone through, our professional training of thinking about education and all that it entails, and one of the storylines is like, well, it's boring.
Yeah.
It's just really interesting to think about, because one of the pushbacks to that narrative, or I should say, like, one of the consequences of that narrative is, like, every lesson needs to be some, like, rock star moment of, like, every day you have to be doing these, like, hyper intense, like, talk about justice, talk about everything every day. It's really interesting to then contrast that with, like, what you're saying about people liking The Office. Being like, there's a comfort food to it of the mundanity of it. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, there is, but, like, I don't know. It's not necessarily good to
I think part of maybe a difference of, like,
I mean, it is a comedy.
Thinking about, I'm just thinking about, like, different industries in general, is that, like, I expect some sort of, like, routine. I don't want surprises when I call my doctor's office to try to, like, make an appointment.
Yes.
Like, you want it to be, like, streamlined and effective and, like, accomplish whatever needs to be accomplished. So, like, when it's kind of like you do the routine, it's not a bad thing that it's boring, even though
No. Yes.
I know, especially me.
There's, like, a difference between boring and well planned.
Yeah.
And well executed.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
It's just, it's really, really
and that's where school remains in, because even in this, I mean, we've talked about this at length because of what it is. Like, this is learning magic, and Ron falls asleep.
Yeah.
So there's something going on. There is something to, like, yes, but when you're in it, you're living it, you can get bored.
Yeah.
Even if it is interesting to other people.
Yep.
There's not a universality to it. Mm-hmm. And, not everyone loves The Office.
This is true. I wrote down all of the departments because I was imagining what would it be like to work.
I love the combos of
7.
them. Yeah, it's like, why are these ones next to each other? But yeah, because, like, the horror office is on Mr. Weasley's floor.
Yeah, well, it's magical law enforcement. So level 7 is games and sports.
Yeah.
Department of Magical Games and Sports. You have the British and Irish Quidditch League headquarters.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. You have the official Gobstones Club, which I wonder if Zenobia Noak is aspiring to be part of that. If that even exists. Like, I don't know. Like,
Gobstones Club gets... I must skip this when I'm reading.
Oh, no. It was literally... So, like, every time there'd be a floor,
right?
And then it would list, and it would say, like, incorporating, and it would have a series of stuff. And the Ludicrous Parents Office...
Ludicrous Parents.
I was not expecting that. I don't know. I didn't look it up after because I was like, well, does this mean that there are parents that are just overly... I don't know, like,
this
parents
very interesting.
Of amateur athletes? What is that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's parents complaining about refereeing.
Mm-hmm. Ludicrous Parents.
Quidditch refereeing.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Soccer
Madam
moms.
Hooch has
or Quidditch
hundreds
moms.
of thousands of complaints from Lucius. My son should have won.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. Level 6 is the Department of Magical Transport. So we have the Flu Network Authority, Broom Regulatory Control, Portkey Office, and the Apparition Test Center, which I found amusing because I was imagining kids coming to take, instead of their driver's test, to take their apparition test in
You do have to get the license, yeah. Even though I don't know how that makes sense, but anyway.
Well, you know. You're,
doesn't need to make
You're
sense.
saying
It's
honor
funny.
system, just register as an animagus and we'll just write you down.
That's
you
right.
know, like, what is this
Much
place?
less important.
Level 5, Department of Magical Cooperation, the International Magical Trading Standards Body, the International Magical Office of Law, and the International Confederation of Wizards British seats. So, the representatives.
Yep. Interesting.
Yeah.
This is very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did this because I must just rip through it and I don't pay any attention.
No, level 4 is the Department of the Regulation and Control of Magical Creatures, which is what's his face? It wasn't Bob, right? Was it Bob?
Poppy.
The guy that was holding the fire chicken it was in the elevator. He went off on this floor. Beast.
The fire chicken.
Yeah.
That's another
That's
good
why it's in
foundable.
Wizards Unite for, all the fire chickens. Beast, Being, and Spirit Divisions. Goblin Liaison Office. And Pest Advisory Bureau. So do you think it's a call center and someone calls in? They're like, hey, there's doxies. What do I do? And they're like, just get some Doxycide. Level 3, Department of Magical Accidents and Catastrophes. We have the Accidental Magic Reversal Squad.
Reversal.
The Obliviator Headquarters. Which, oh man, you don't want the wrong kinds of people to be working in that office.
True.
Just be like taking people's memories.
Yes.
Muggle-worthy excuse committee. So this, I imagine, is just a bunch of witches and wizards sitting around being like, what can be the cover-up for this
Oh, I would be so
catastrophe?
good at that. It's ideation. Just come up with the next one.
Well, it says committee, so I wonder if like the people that work for that are also
It's like a writer's room.
They Well, I was wondering if like they are like a segment
They have more
of the
than one
population.
job.
I don't know. I guess it could be like how big would it have to be for you to need a committee to convene? How often would this committee convene,
Yeah, a lot. Frequently. Every day.
Oh my gosh.
Just coming up with plans.
Do you think
Because it has to be contextualized too.
But do you think they have a reserve where they're
Yes,
like,
I do, yes.
here's our database of
Yes.
different excuses,
Yes.
what we've used, how it like
That
was
wasn't a dragon, it was
received,
just a
and,
cloud.
like, yeah.
The
Level
Old Faithful.
Level 2 is the Department of Magical Law Enforcement, which is also where they got off.
Yes.
Improper use of magic office or headquarters and the Wizengamot Administration Services, which they went to Arthur's office, and I wrote down there is a photograph of the Weasley family, and Harry
Percy
noticed
has
that
left.
Percy
Yes.
appeared to have walked out of it, which, holy moly, if you can do that, that is so petty.
It's pretty cruel.
You're just like, all right, family, we're walking out. Because you would have to do something.
as we know, do you?
Or
Or is
do-
it just the sentience? It just feels your feelings
That
and it's like, I'm
seems
leaving.
very-
Or do you have to intentionally be like, I'm leaving my dad's photo forever?
Where is Percy's...
That'd be crazy.
Do we have an indication of where Percy's little clock
No, I don't
thing
remember
is?
now.
Because that's intense.
I think it
Like,
keeps
do you
working.
think the Weasleys enchanted their stuff? Well, obviously the clock, but like their portraits? How does that work?
I don't know. I
don't
really don't know. If you find a newspaper clipping from book 3 where they went to Egypt as Percy as a kid, not in it anymore, I don't know.
I mean, it's not like
Is it Byrne from Hamilton?
he just... There's like some kind of connection.
He just sits there with
What
his
if there's
wand like,
an invisible... Yeah, he like cast a spell to be like, sever all like connections to my
I
family.
no longer exist.
Like that would be so... Oh gosh. I
I
don't
don't
like
know.
it. I don't like
doesn't
it.
feel good. It does not feel good.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so it was mentioned, I think Alan mentioned it earlier on, but you got this last minute change. How rude. How rude.
It's outrageous.
Something is so this is what I'm talking about though. You don't want your doctor's office to be like, "Oh, we moved your appointment an hour early." Like, no, you can't do stuff like that in the
but
ministry.
this gets to how well Voldemort is planning. He really executes some plans here because he knows this is an opportunity to get Harry to see the door in the Department of Mysteries. I have always believed, the reason that it is moved, that is the core reason. Now, the people who move it, like Fudge and even Umbridge, don't necessarily know that's why or how it got moved. I'm sure
They're
Lucius
all
was
just
like, "Oh,
cons.
Fudge, like put the screws to him, like give him
Yeah.
the full whizzing gamut," and it's like actually the reason is just to have Harry walk past a door.
Oh my goodness. Well, Arthur says, he's like, they haven't used this. Like, why are we down
Exactly,
here? Like,
right?
you can't even get here by elevator. Blah, blah,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. Like, oh
Yes.
gosh.
And Fudge wasn't even supposed to be there. It's clearly his doing, but I don't think he knows why he's doing it.
So basically, this is just a chess game between Dumbledore and Voldemort
Yeah.
right now.
Yes. Well, one of my favorite lines is going to be in the next chapter
Ooh.
with Dumbledore.
Dumbledore.
His arrival. But yeah, I
One of my
think it's-
favorite gifs is of this scene where Dumbledore's just like, you know that one where he's just standing in the middle and he's just like, from the movie. It's great. It's great. Great times.
It's a decent chapter. Let me get, just for a minute.
Yeah.
We can close the episode this way. Thinking about my title with anxiety,
Oh, yeah.
I felt that it was well represented here. The sleep issues, the appetite issues, but I thought more than that was, and we get a contrast with after Harry is acquitted, because he then is like, oh my god, like colors are brighter. And I think it's he has such an anxiety over the hearing that he's just taking in all of this
Yes,
stuff.
yeah.
But I don't know if it's intentional or if it's just coincidental, because there's so much to take in that we don't get as much of like Harry's internal monologue about
we don't
it.
get,
He's just sort of like, oh, there's
He's
a
just
fire
looking at
chicken, there's a
everything, yeah.
statue.
Yeah, he's
and
reading
even
every
the only
single
internal
thing.
monologue that I can even quite remember is he's like, I'll put 10 galleons,
10 galleons
in
in
here.
it, yeah.
And other than that, it's like he doesn't think at all about what Tonks is saying, and that Mr. Weasley is like, I'll cover your night shift.
Right.
He doesn't even process that, even though it was 2 chapters ago that he found out that there's some weapon, but he doesn't even connect it. And I feel like in a different setting, if he wasn't anxious about his hearing, he would have been like, what are you guarding? Why are you up overnight?
Yeah,
and
no,
why
no.
can Mr. Weasley take your shift? This is clearly Order of the Phoenix. It's not.
That's probably why I wrote down all of those things, is because he was just listening to the lady who was just like, level 7.
What I find odd is that later in life, Harry doesn't seem to have that level of anxiety, even in a couple of years, when it comes to like actually fighting Voldemort. Maybe that's part of the ancient magic protection. He doesn't get mentally destabilized by just the pressure of the whole situation in the same way that Hermione and Ron do, and especially Ron. Because he's always lived with a Horcrux. I think this chapter it's really interesting, and then next chapter will also be interesting. It's a wild. It is the wider world and like the politics of it.
Yeah.
It's madness. It's maddening. The
Yeah.
whole situation is maddening. Just like Percy leaving the photo. It's like, come on, people, just take
Figure
a
it
deep
out.
breath. You don't even have to
yeah.
believe him. Why
Yeah.
are you going after him? Just take a deep breath. Relax.
Words of wisdom.
If Dumbledore wanted your job, he'd have it. Just relax.
Just
Nothing you can do to
relax.
stop it. All right.
Well, that's all for today. Come back on Sunday for
Yes.
the next episode. Until next time,
Juan's
Juan's ready.